Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194 and appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And we're here at Hungaroring and we are in the Bentley Continental GT3, always a favorite of mine. And I did a setup, a while ago, months ago for here. And of course, I had a request because somebody's going to let me double check and make sure so I don't mess this up. Jose is going to do a league race, and I think it's an hour race, and I was wondering if it's good for an hour. So, I made a few adjustments, and of course, a lot of it when you get into those hour longs, you really got to pace yourself because you can't really go all out every single lap because it's just not gonna. The tires won't. I don't think there's anything out there that'll hold up for an hour. So basically, you just got to pace yourself and find a good pace that you think you can keep for the whole race. But I think that the car's a little bit more driver friendly. It's definitely more friendly over the bumps, and it really was not real hard to drive. It did it pretty comfortably. So we're just going to do a couple laps and then we'll go over the setup. Jump in the car here. Of course, up here at the 100, I brake before the 100. Nice and tight. Coming up here at this curve right there. Downshift to second. Try to hold it kind of tight to there so you've got a good run going through here. Up here at the curbing, downshift to third, going kind of tight. Up to fourth, back down to second. Run it out wide if you need to. Then down to first. That second curve, but have it aim in the right direction when you're doing that. Of course, through there second, through here in second. Downshift to third, run up all over this curve. Be careful not to go out of bounds. And then right at this curbing, down to second, run right over that curve. Run to this curve, and as soon as you get to it, downshift to first. You can get on the curve on the inside also. It won't hurt it at all. Downshift to second. Try to hug this. Feet in the gas coming out. That was a 144.66. Corsa still has 77 liters. That's another thing. I did the fuel calculations, and it should be right around 90 liters for an hour race. There was a little bit wide going through there, so that kind of cost me a little bit. See, that was my fast lap at a 144.55. So, you know, good laps. I mean, I think my all-time personal best in the Bentley's a 144.3, but that's in a qualifying mode. So, you know, thinking if, you know, this thing still has a ton of fuel on it and all, so I think I could do better than that now with this. So let's take a look at the setup. And I'll go over the timetables really quick. There's the timetables, and as you can see, that fast lap that we watched, I mean, that was like a 1/10.5 right there from my previous lap that we rode inside the car. So it's probably that chicane, and I mean, I could have gained another. I could have been down in more like a 44.4. So if I would have hit it at the same time, but still a lot of 44s, low 45s, couple little mess ups. But even at the end, I ran a 45.5 and a 45.63, even though I messed that up at the last lap also. Should have probably been more like a 45.4 or 45.5, just like this one. But still not terrible. I mean, that's still about a second difference between my fast lap and near the end. So, not, you know, again, that's decent to me. I think that's pretty good. Let's go over the setup. And we got 25.9 left front, 26.1 left rear, 26.8 right front, and 26.8 right rear. The toe is negative 0.06 with the camber at negative 3.4 on the left front and negative 3.5 on the right front. Caster's 12.1. On the rear, the toe is 0.1 with the camber at negative 2.9 on the left rear and negative 3 on the right rear. And again, I'm doing these things, adjusting it to whatever the car is telling me, trying to keep the temperatures from the inner to the outer a certain spread, and trying to keep them all four close. I'm really, really working hard at trying to keep tire wear even, because one thing I've learned is even if you have graining in moderate and all kinds of other things, if the tires are wearing even, really close, you have a better chance of your times not falling off drastically. The car might change a little bit, but it changes even. It's still really, you know, you lose a little bit of time, but it's nothing like if you burn off the fronts or burn off the rears or whatever, then it completely changes the handling of the car. So I'm really working hard at doing those things, and always, you know, fighting the battle as far as trying to get that better and better. The electronics, of course, 3 and 5. Fuel, of course, I had 90 liters with number 1 brake pad, so that should be fine. Had moderate graining, which is not that big a deal, especially with the lap times I was running near the end. The wear is not too bad, and looks like, you know, as far as front to rear is close. So again, that's the main thing I'm looking at. I'm trying to keep it as close as I can from front to rear, because it really makes a big difference on, again, the handling of the car. Even if you have moderate or severe or whatever graining, as long as you don't have a flat spot or a blister. But the graining part isn't the major concern if the wear is close. Mechanical, got 4 on the anti-roll bar, 60 on the brake bias, and you can go down to 59 at least, maybe even more, but definitely down to 59. Steering ratios all the way down at 10. Springs in the front are 155,000 with a bump stop rate of 800 and a bump stop range of 3. And on the rear, the springs are 150,000 with a bump stop rate of 600 and a bump stop range of 20. Anti-roll bar is 4, and the preload on the diff is 50. And of course, a lot of these things have been changed from the last setup. Shocks are 15, 14, 26, and 27 on the front, and 15, 14, 26, and 28 on the rear. Aero, I have 58 in the front and 72 in the rear with a 5 rear wing and a 3 and a 3 in the brake ducts. And of course, a lot of this has been changed also, trying to get the balance a little bit better, and also going over the, you know, being a little bit more aggressive with the curbs as far as running over them and not having to worry about it wrecking the car and things like that. So I also, you know, raised the car up just a teeny, just like 1 click, but it definitely makes a difference. So I sure hope that it works for you, and if you decide to try it, and any feedback or comments are always appreciated, and a thumbs up and subscribing would be great if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And also this link of this will be in the description, and I have a PayPal link down there also. If you want to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it, and say thank you to everybody that has. And I sure hope that you come back and visit again really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.